Hi, I'm here to talk about midlife, which is often romanticized as some kind of a second act, right? So I think that's really true. But I noticed that a lot of my clients gave me a lot of pushback. They're like, we don't want to be called midlife. We don't want to think about it being midlife. But it's what it is, and I want you to celebrate it. So that's why I'm making today's video. I'm going to give you some ways that you can actually celebrate this shit, all right? Now, if you're someone who is like me and you've spent decades overachieving, and you know if you're an overachiever, okay, because you're someone who hustles to get stuff done, you're someone that everybody relies on, you carry the load for everybody, and for you, you're already doing a lot of stuff, and so it doesn't really feel like it's a second or like a fresh start or a second act. It can feel like a lot of pressure, and this is the problem. So what happens is there's usually a lot of signals that are going on from your body. You can feel hot flashes. You can notice a little bit of dryness in some areas, maybe where you didn't have dryness before. Your hair, for example. All right. You can notice aches and pains in places. So for example, I had an ankle that swole. Like all of a sudden, I've been a runner. I've done exercise all my life. I've been very strong in my body. All of a sudden, I'm crippled and cannot even walk. Right. So what starts to happen at midlife is all of your unprocessed emotions, all the self-neglect starts to really show up, and it's demanding your attention, and it's demanding all the care that you've ignored and put down and not given yourself, okay? And discipline, is what I would pride myself on. Like my friends used to always say, oh, you're so disciplined. But actually, it's really discipline, it's drive, and it's resilience. But those things now are actually starting to kind of push back against me. So where those things were once tools, and they were once good qualities, they're now actually starting to give a little bit more anxiety, and they're starting to show some dissatisfaction, right? So again, it's the universe pushing back, it's the self-neglect pushing back, and it's basically midlife is a time where you can start to face the fact that you've been running from yourself, all right? So what is the kind of general problem that we're experiencing? Well, a lot of the things that I experienced and my clients experience is this undeniable exhaustion, and they can feel it in their body, and but more than anything, it's an energetic exhaustion, and it's a mental exhaustion, and there's not it's not about just doing self-care, like, oh, I'm going to go get a massage and everything's going to be okay. Yes, the massage will help. Yes, a hot bath will help. Yes, a shower will help. Yes, good sex will help. Okay, all those things will help. But that's not really what is being called for now. It's not like, oh, I'm in midlife, I need to now get a massage every week and I'm going to be okay. So, and a lot of my work, you all, is around working with women who are overachievers. We're people who are accustomed to getting things done. We're accustomed to having it our way, because we're accustomed to achieving, okay? But it's not just about high performance, it's actually about overachieving, which kind of goes into some qualities that take away from us, okay? So we overachievers during this time notice that we are becoming drained, and we are becoming more short-tempered. And like the things that you used to do to kind of restore you aren't really working. And another thing that happens right now, and I just heard this from someone last night I was working with, she's like, why is my brain so foggy? Why can't I think? Why can't I stay clear? Why can't I focus? These things are all classic symptoms, and just taking a vacation. But the point that I'm making is that, like, the things that you're experiencing now and the way that you're experiencing them, they don't have the same effect on you that they used to, right? Like it's more now. It's almost too much now. And the things that used to restore you, getting a massage, it's not enough. There's a dissatisfaction, And Apollo, don't run after them, boo-boo. Stay near me. Good boy. Bonjour. Leave it alone, buddy. We've got horses. We've got guys on those little uni thingies. I don't know what those are called. But I love these guys on their... Look, these old French dudes, they be on a unicycle riding an electric. I don't know what that thing is called. And he doesn't even have on a helmet, and he's got his dog on a leash. I think that's very badass. This is why I don't want us to be afraid of midlife, because we can rock this shit. I want us to rock it, okay? I want us to thrive in it, because I think that's our opportunity right now to rock life in a way that we never did before, all right? Let me get back on track. So right now, these kind of negative feelings are rising up, and you feel like you're running out of time, okay? And, you're spending your weekends like doing chores, and you're taking care of responsibilities, and even trying to relax doesn't really feel right, okay? And the thing that I don't like is that we tend to kind of blame it. We pass it off onto menopause and hormones, and we just can't help it. I need to take some raspberry tea leaf and blah, blah, blah. And I do believe those things are essential, but overachieving is part of the problem. The midlife crisis is also part of the problem, all right? So it's not really just about age or bad luck or menopause. It's beyond that. And it's beyond that in a good way. I want you to understand that what you're experiencing right now that's happening through you is actually happening for you. It's not a punishment, or it's not, oh, I'm getting old and this sucks. My life is coming to an end. No, it is not. It's a beginning. And what you're doing right now is you're purging everything from the old life, the old self, the old way. Apollo, don't go back there. Sorry. But you're purging all those things, and they're coming out through your body. And what we want is for you to turn that on its head, okay? We want you to step in alignment with your true self. So anyway, overachievers have survived, okay? So overachievers have really good coping strategies and really good coping mechanisms. But that doesn't mean that we should be coping, all right? We're not trying to live our lives to cope. We need to move beyond coping into like thriving. Coping is a survival strategy. So overachievers survive by suppressing their own needs. They suppress their emotions. They suppress their desires, okay? We suppress our needs. We suppress our needs, our emotions, and our desires. And we numb out with food or extra wine or shopping or TV or podcasts, learning, trying to learn everything. I'm going to read this book, and then I'm going to read that book, and then I'm going to read this book, and then my life is going to get better. And actually, we're not doing what we really need to be doing. Like we're carrying everybody else's weight. We take on everybody else's issues. And at the same time, we take on everybody else, but overachievers don't like getting help. We like to do it alone. We like to do it alone. We like to do it ourselves. And yes, we might delegate at work, but we know how to do that at work. But at home, we don't do that necessarily so much. Okay. So this is a problem though. Even though we're good at it, all right, it's starting to catch up with us now at midlife. And this is the problem. What happens is this lack of support and this lack of, it's a lot. I don't want to make it seem like your family's not supportive. My family's not supportive. Your family's not supportive. No, your family would support you if you let them, if you asked. How many times have I seen women, they're like, I'm like, why don't you ask your kids to do that? Oh, because they don't like to. Yeah, but why don't you ask them to do it anyway? Why is it that your kids only get to do what they like to do? Like you kind of have to learn how to like to do things that you don't like to do. That's how you love people, Like I don't love golfing, but I'll go golf with my man, Like whatever. My point is, a lot of times we just take it on and we don't ask, all right? We don't want to burden anyone else, but we are happy to be burdened, okay? Now, when menopause and perimenopause hit, the hormones shift, and this kind of really amplifies the imbalance. So all of a sudden, now the imbalance has been going on for a long time, I'm going to tell you. It's just when the hormones hit, it now makes it really recognizable that that the stuff is going on, and now we're ready to say stop. So these things, like most women try to solve this problem by, supplements, doing diets, trying to change the way they eat. Also productivity hacks, I remember doing so much time management stuff and so much money management stuff, and trying to squeeze as much as I could into my schedule that was already full, It's like I'm going to do another yoga class, and that's going to help me get better. And the fact is that burnout is not about scheduling, It's not about adding more to-dos or subtracting. It's really about learning how to stop equating your worth with your achievement. And for me, I really believe that it's about reclaiming your sensuality, reclaiming your creativity, and reclaiming your connection to source energy, so that you learn how to recognize that support is all around you, and you learn to let go and let God. Now, again, I haven't said this to you. I'm saying this to myself. I was just having this conversation with somebody else. But I'm not religious, but I'm incredibly spiritual. And so when I say God, you can make that any God you want. You can make it the universe. You can make it, a Hindu God, or whatever God you want, Christian God, it doesn't matter. My point is that you need to let go and let someone who's bigger and more powerful than you, and who has, this higher perspective than you, let them take over. And that is where the magic lies in this work. For women, especially midlife overachieving women, this is where life gets really good. When you learn how to surrender, you'll see that all kinds of things show up for you. And yes, it is a new way of being, all right? It is a new way of being, but it is so interesting and so powerful. And I realize, look, my camera's jostling a lot because I've got a polo on leash, and I'm crossing the street. I'm out here in these streets. Actually, I was in the woods, but I kept walking anyway, because that's the overachiever in me. The overachiever in me is just going to keep on walking. Well, that, and I don't want to get cold. But let me finish up the point that I'm trying to make in this video, right? So my solution focuses not just on burnout, but on the transformation that the overachiever must make. And what is that transformation? Well, I believe that sensuality is key to that transformation. Why sensuality? Because there is so much around us, and our perception is everything. So you perceive through your senses. Getting back in touch with your senses and learning how to work with alchemy in your life, which you already know how to do. If you're an overachiever, you know how to use alchemy. I will just have to show you how you know how, right? That's part of my job also, is showing you how you're already an alchemist, but also learning how to use your sensuality is going to be an important part of this as well, okay? And your sensuality is very, very powerful. It's what makes you magnetic. It's what calls to you your prosperity. It magnetizes your heart, all these kinds of things. I realize I have to cross another big street right now. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pause. Come here, boo-boo. Let me just finish saying what I got to say. So the point that I want to make is, I'm going to summarize and wrap this up. You've been living with an outdated identity where achievement is your survival. Midlife is an opportunity for you to burn down that false way of living and to step into a new chapter where you generate power and pleasure and purpose from within. And I want you to see this feeling of burnout not as failure or I'm getting old or I'm going through menopause. No, instead see it as opportunity. All right, that's the point I want to make in this video. Now, I go into this in detail and I talk about sensual alchemy in my latest ebook, and it's called Midlife Makeover, A Woman's Guide to Reclaiming Power, Purpose, and Pleasure. No, it's Reclaiming Power, Pleasure, and Purpose, okay? And it's a guide for women like you who are tired of hustling and you just really want to reconnect to yourself and you want to find your source and you want to start operating differently, all right? Cool. All right, I'm going to go and I'm going to cross the street and deal with these French drivers and be safe, all right? Bye for now.